Hello again. So we are continuing with the new chapter, quadratic equations, and in this chapter we are going to navigate through different methods of solving quadratic equations. Before that, we need to define what a quadratic equation is, and then we go ahead and look at some of the methods. Okay, first thing is that any equation that is written in a form of
x squared plus bx plus c equals to
that
0.
is called a quadratic equation. Now it's really important that a couple of things. One is that the coefficient of the quadratic term, that means the term that has got the x squared, that's called the quadratic term. That coefficient a cannot be 0. All right, so let's write this quadratic equation, the general quadratic form, ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. The first term, ax squared, that is called the quadratic term. The second part, bx, that's the linear term. And c is the constant term. That means it doesn't have any variable. All right. Now, quadratic equation must have the quadratic term. If it doesn't have a quadratic term, then that is not a quadratic equation. And another piece that is very crucial is the this 2, power of 2. That's what makes it quadratic. All right, it's as if you're looking at a polynomial. If there was no equation sign or equal sign here, then you would have had a polynomial of degree 2, which is the power of 2 there. Okay, so that's another thing. Quadratic means power of 2, and you have 3 possible terms. You could have one, or you could have 2, or you could have 3. So the linear term doesn't need to be there, the constant term doesn't need to be there, but the quadratic term must be there. So let's go through a couple of examples. Suppose I give you 2x squared is equal to 0. That's a quadratic equation because it's got a power of 2. It doesn't have a linear term. That's okay. It doesn't have a constant. Well, it does have a constant. The constant is actually 0, right? 2x squared plus 0, that's same thing. All right. Or you could have something like this. 3x squared plus 1 is equal to 0. That's a quadratic equation as well. All right. Another way of writing it, 4x squared plus 2x equals to 0. That's another example of a quadratic equation. All right. Now, here's the thing. Not all quadratic equations, they show up in a very nice format of that general form that you see up here, which is x squared plus bx plus c. That sometimes they show up hidden. So, for example, this in a factor form. Okay, now you don't see the x squared right away, but we hope that you can go ahead quickly and realize that by doing the distribution, the multiplying the two brackets together, you'll end up getting, what are you going to end up getting is x squared plus 3x plus 2, set that equal to 0. Okay, so by actually going through the FOIL or the rainbow or whatever method that you can think of, when you expand it and you collect like terms, you're going to get a quadratic equation, the same as what we talked about there. And that is simple as that. So let's look at the not quadratic. Okay, and let's look at some of the examples. X to the power of a half equals to 0. That is not a quadratic. No. All right. Next one, root x plus 2x squared is equal to 0. Well, you could say, well, because it has x squared, well, that's a quadratic. No, because it has a square root of x. X is under the radical sign. That is not a quadratic. Okay. And also anything that is above the degree of that equation is higher than 2. For example, if you have this, x cubed plus 2x squared plus x equal to 0, that is not a quadratic. That's actually called a cubic function or power of 3 function, which is power of 3 equation, cubic equation. That is not quadratic. Okay, simple as that. Those are the examples of quadratic and not quadratic. Okay, let's look at some of the basic form of quadratic equations, very basic ones. And these ones, we call them basic because they don't have the linear term or the constant term, okay, or the constant term is 0. So some of them, they don't have bx and c is 0. So let's look at them and then let's go ahead and solve. For example, let's look at example 1. We have 5x squared minus 4 is equal to 41. Well, this is a very basic equation, and in this case you notice that it's not equal to 0. So first we have to set it up equal to 0. We have to maneuver or massage this equation so it's set up as the original form. Look at that. As you on top, ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. It has to be equal to 0. Well, we can rewrite this as 5x squared minus 4 minus 41 is equal to 0 because you're just subtracting 41 from both sides. So 5x squared minus 45, set that equal to 0. Excellent. This is our quadratic equation. It just turns out that this does not have, really doesn't have the middle term. Now I just showed this on purpose to make sure that you recognize that this is a quadratic equation. But in this case, when you're going to go ahead and solve, is that you have to isolate the x squared term. Well, first x squared or 5x squared term, and then solve for x, all right? And to do that, you go ahead, you actually have to get rid of the 45. Now I know that I am just double backing again, but I just showed you one way to make sure that you see that that is a quadratic equation in a form that we are used to. And now we go ahead and solve. So what is that? Well, that is 5x squared equals 45. And in this case, we just have to get rid of the coefficient of x squared, divide both sides by 5. So we have x squared equals to 9. And then from this point on is very simple. So this is the part where you have to be careful. What numbers times itself will give you 9, and there's two possible answers comes to mind, not one. So the first one is easy. So 3 squared is that, but also minus 3 or negative 3. Okay, so negative 3 squared, you always can check. Okay, always check your solution, and you notice that it is. Now, because we got two solutions, we always say subscript 1, subscript 2 for x's. That means x1 is 3, x2 is minus 3. That means the first solution is 3, the second solution is negative 3. It's not necessarily first or second, it's just that we are now differentiating between the two solutions. Okay, simple as that. So look at another example. This one, I set it up very easily for you. So that is a quadratic. I don't have to rearrange it so that I can prove it to you that it is. It is a quadratic. You can see that. It's just that it's already been, x squared has already been isolated. Now let's go ahead and solve. So here's the thing. When you're dealing with x squared equal to minus 9 or x squared solution, like as back here, when you go back here, what did we do to get x equal to 3 and x equal to minus 3? Well, we actually took the square root of both sides. That's what we did. Okay, and I didn't specifically say that, but that's what you did. You basically did the exact opposite operation, inverse operation of the power of 2, which is square root. So we're going to do the same thing here, just to talk about this. And here's the thing. What numbers times itself will give you minus 9 or negative 9? Well, in the world of real numbers, there are no numbers that you multiply by itself, you get a negative number. So you could say it's negative 3, but it's not negative 3 because negative 3 squared is positive 9. It's not negative 9. So we say that this equation doesn't have a solution. So it has no solution in a set of real number system, and the notation for that is r. Okay, so we cannot find a value for x such that it will give you x squared equal to minus 9. Okay, we cannot find it in the real number system. There is another system called the complex numbers. We can find it there, but that's above and beyond the scope of this unit. Okay, all right.